Hello, guests and ghouls, and welcome to Quest Friends Hereafter, an audio cartoon using the role-playing game Under the Neighborhood. I am Kyle, he, him, and today I, three of my best friends, and some dice are going to tell you a story about Quique's forgotten nemesis.
Hello, I'm Ari. I play Aurelio Enrique Hueso Kanaka, or Quique, he, him, the opportunist who adapts and creates copies.
I'm Emily. My pronouns are they, them, and I play Irene Hawthorne, the Necromon trainer who overextends and jumps to conclusions, and her pronouns are she, her.
I'm Hallie, pronouns she, her, and I play Sparky Malarkey, also she, her, the intuition who investigates and has 2 mascot suits.
We have two mascot suits.
2 mascot suits.
Except for the time you had 3.
Yeah.
Which, let's get into what happened last time. We are not going to do slice of life complications because, let's be honest, your lives are complicated enough as is. You all went to investigate Sochi's little announcement party for the musical Swanshine, which is releasing tomorrow as of that session, which was like months ago listener time, but like a couple hours probably ago your time. It's a big musical that is just clearly a ripoff of Ariel's Shadowed Swan, but with a bunch of lines changed. During this investigation, you all stumbled into the afterworlds, where you all had just a bunch of different experiences. Sparky just had some heart-to-hearts with the jam. Irene learned that Juniper is a magical girl, or something like that. And Quique found just a bunch of missing children, scooped them up in like a bag or something. I don't even know how you held them. I don't think I asked. I think you just have all the artifacts they were in.
I mean, yeah, I assumed I had pockets.
He briefly was one with Lionel, because Lionel, Unuin, and Ariel are down there.
That was his worst nightmare come true.
Long story short, you all met up, and you all ended up in a mysterious library where all of you regained your memories of Hilda, which seemed to have been stripped from you. And then Booker attacked Sparky because he was very mad.
Yeah.
We also had a flashback where Mateo and Quique met for the first time, trying to stop a heist from Dr. Midas, and they just crushed him to death with a safe.
and then did some stuff.
That's, that's
On
just...
his sleeping bag in his camp.
That's nor here nor there.
Yeah.
That's never gonna bite you in the ass. Quique can barely remember it, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Just like the worst thing he's ever done. He doesn't remember it all.
Oh, that's not the worst thing he's done.
You don't know the worst things he has done.
At this point, does he know the worst thing he's done?
No, he doesn't, Who knows?
Alright, so that's the recap. Ariel, Unuin, Jam, Lionel, Juniper, and all of Quique's kids are with you right now. Quique, you picked doubles, and you rolled your loaded dice, and then, Sparky, you need to roll your stats.
Yeah. My stats.
My doubles will be 4 for success.
Okay.
And 3 for failure.
Okay. Dual 4s, you get success. Dual 3, you get failures. And Sparky, I'm looking at your face, Hallie, and I have a feeling we're having some fun stats today, so...
According to my 4 rolls, I've got a +1 in heart, a +2 in books, a 0 in fierce, and a -2 in slick, which is almost like the perfect loadout as far as positive and negative values go. But I'm unhappy because I had really good stats last time.
I mean, it's true, but I feel like it's appropriate since Sparky is now about to learn a lot of shit.
Yeah, that's why the books are so high. And it's been a rough few hours, man. She's tired. The fierce and the slick, like that energy has all funneled into like the eager student.
So instant energy is not an angel ability?
Well, not at this moment. Maybe it could be.
5-hour energy.
Yeah, Dead Bull is an angel drink. That's just a fact.
It's made out of angel tears.
I don't like the implication. I take it back.
It's too late.
And then what is your loaded dice, Quique?
I rolled an 11, but I roll plus lick, so that is a 13.
You say that like it makes a difference. I rolled a full success, but with my good stat, it's a fuller success.
Yeah. You know, I just didn't want to be like, I rolled a 13, because then it might cause confusion. So I wanted to like clarify where I got 13.
No, I respect it. I appreciate it. All right. Let's get into it then. So, do any of you get seasick?
No.
Probably.
Sorry, Irene.
Irene, you can feel your like stomach churn with the gentle rocking of the boat. You are all in garbage.
Sparky's at home.
Well, it's less garbage,
Literally, though.
and more like an antiquary store. There are all sorts of interesting baubles and artifacts just kind of scrolling left and right alongside the waves of the rivers of existence. In front of you on this retrofitted barge, covered in large part by the fog surrounding you, is a man Quique knows very well, but who looks completely foreign. Mateo's fitted clothes are baggy on his now shrunken, more shriveled body as he leans over a cobbled-together cane with a familiar little bone key on the top as the hilt. He has a wooden mask of his face hanging on the side of his hip, and while he looks faint in the fog, his shadow looks even more so. Mateo leans on the cane with one hand and pets the Faneco with the other and says, I imagine you have some questions for me.
Yeah. Tell me how you two know each other again. Sparky's gesturing from Quique to Mateo because they spent this whole ride in silence, so this has not been answered, I assume.
This is not me trying to hide it from you, Sparky, or anything. I promise. I feel like you first have to like tell me what happened. You stopped writing, and I didn't know. I didn't know that this happened. Like I could have gone and looked for you or something. You know, how long have you been like this? Is it lack of information? Do you like do you want more nutritious things? I can tell you things. Sparky's a reporter. She knows a lot of things. I assume if you need information to have sustenance, I can give you that.
Yeah. He rests his hand on your shoulder. I assure you, I am perfectly fine. Answering your question, gesturing to you, Sparky. How does one put it?
You always do that.
Based on what Yayo has been telling me, we're a lot like you two if you fucked.
That is so interesting. This is so interesting, Quique.
Wow, I mean, that's not wrong, I guess, but you don't have to say it like that.
I respect a straight shooter, and you sound like a straight shooter. See, Quique, this is like he just answered a question that I asked. Isn't that amazing? Quique doesn't really answer questions when you ask them. He's gotten a lot better, but he didn't used to be like this. This is great. So how many times have you two fucked?
Okay.
I'm sorry. There's a Tina. How many times have you had sex?
Quique and Sparky saying there's a teenager here is gonna just look at Ariel.
Irene's just been in the background with like looking nauseous, but she's also wide eyes ringed in shadow as soon as
I guess
the adults started cursing.
Do you think there are more important things, perhaps, that we could speak of?
You know, like the kid here is right. It's a little awkward with the kids over there to talk about my
You're right.
my life in the unfettered passion realm, but
Kyle, I have a question. I don't remember all of what happened with If. Would I recognize anything suspicious?
Yes. You would recognize the mask on his hip.
Yes, so I think it would be pertinent for you to explain to us why you also sold your soul.
you what?
You get more interesting by the second.
sold my...
Well, not exactly, but a little bit.
He's gonna look... Oh! Did I do that, little friend? He's gonna look at Booker.
Does Booker know?
Booker only knows what's in the memories that we've seen.
He shrugs his little cover shoulders. Rekoob, which means, but it's something you might have done.
All right, you've got me there. I'm sorry, I can't recall, he says, pressing his hand on the mask on his hip, with, for lack of a better word, the energy of Bilbo Baggins looking at the One Ring, being like, after all, why shouldn't I keep it? That would be an interesting story if that was the case. Interesting in...
See, that's what he does. He answers in roundabout ways, and you've gotten worse about it too. Like, I ask you things, and then you just say other things that are not fully directly related to the point. Answer the question of the kid.
Oh god, it's frustrating, isn't it?
Or did you shut up, Sparky?
It's so frustrating. I can sense how frustrated you are.
Why would you have sexual relations with someone who does not answer questions properly?
Why are we going back to this point? I don't even know how old I am at this point. Like, of course I've had my Nights of Unfettered Passion.
Fuck calls it. Ariel has their hands over Unuan's ears, but is also... Unuan couldn't hear because there's uproarious laughter over there.
Just go back to pretending you were not aware of things again, please, for now. Anyways.
Rekoob.
Booker says, trying to get you to stay on topic about Hilda, who is the most important, and nobody else matters.
I think Booker here is saying that we have to get back to the point. Just where were you?
Oh, right. Yes, the point. There's a little insect. It's not any specific necromon, and his eyes just kind of wander.
I can tell if you can't tell me, or if you're just doing your weird little game things.
Ah, yes! He claps his hands together, squishing the bug. I remember now. I can't remember. And his face actually for the first time goes grim. That's the thing, I'm not playing games, Aurelio. I can't remember. I can't remember what I can't remember.
That makes sense. I do believe you. Just, how long? What's the last thing, I guess?
He is going to reach out his hands for Booker to climb on them.
Booker kicks Sparky on the way over just a little bit and then climbs up onto Mateo's hands.
And he's going to hold you. What was our plan?
Rekoob.
I know Echo wasn't here, he says, referring to the Finecco.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember?
Does Booker remember anything that, Mateo...
Only the things that were in the pages.
So you're saying you catalog things, information, things that happen?
Rekoob.
You're remarkable, friend. Did you know that?
Rekoob.
Now I have outlined the rest of these pages with more information. Not only about her, but about the other 6. Each of them will tell you exactly what you need to do and exactly what you need to be aware of.
So that's what he's after.
Cool.
Oh, just an old friend, nothing more.
That does not answer the question in the least, Mateo.
Thank you, Sparky.
Rekoob.
We want to help you. And for that, we need to know all the information we can about the situation.
Not to mention your lack of communication means that now I have also sold my soul questionably.
Did we know that?
No.
In character
No one knows.
What?
How many people here have sold their souls?
Okay, what?
Sparky, have you sold your soul too?
What are you? Not to my knowledge.
When Quique says that, both Booker and Mateo will raise their hands.
Like, we know you two. Wait, Booker.
Yeah, no, that wasn't. It was in addition to the people that we already knew.
Booker says, who hasn't?
Like, I guess I might have at some point. I'm old enough that could have been a possibility, but
I thought you were interrogating someone else.
Okay, yeah, and then someone else said something much more interesting, such as, I've also sold my soul, a thing that we didn't know about. Irene, what are you talking about?
He was the original soul seller.
Okay, yes, we're gonna get to him, but he doesn't answer questions right away. Quique is very right. It's very frustrating. Mateo, we're gonna be best friends, but you gotta get that straight shooter energy back. Irene, what?
Oops, I can't hear you over the noise of the wind.
you know what the wind is saying? The wind is saying,
Mateo, at last I found you! I want you all to take a GM intrusion.
I don't want that, but okay.
The wind, it turns out, was actually getting louder, but it wasn't actually the wind. Instead, it was the beating of wings of giant, armored golden beetles. You all fall to the ground in response to an explosion as dozens of different robotic creatures swarm onto the boat.
well, this is new.
Okay, well, what the fuck is this? Is this more, are they here for souls? Is that what we're here for?
Mateo looks at the robots. Well, long time no see, Midas. For today's announcement break, I am overwhelmed to announce that Quest Friends has officially joined the Fable and Folly podcast network. For those of you who aren't familiar, Fable and Folly is an amazing podcast network primarily focused on building the fiction podcast community. Thanks to them, we'll see more opportunities for growth, more fun crossovers and feed drops, and, yes, a couple of ads, which, speaking of, let's take care of those right now. I cannot emphasize how excited I am for us to officially be part of Fable and Folly. They are the only podcast network I've ever applied to join. And again, whereas to you, the end listener, the ads may be the most visibly apparent part, or audibly apparent, I guess, there are going to be a lot of amazing opportunities and things we'll be able to do that we wouldn't have been able to otherwise. That being said, if you just don't like ads, we do offer an ad-free version of Quest Friends on our Patreon for every paid backer level. So, if you'd like additional short stories, podcasts, behind-the-scenes insights, and ad-free episodes, you can check us out at patreon.com/questfriends. I'll see you there.
What is he doing here?
You know this Joker too?
Yes, but not in the way you think. He's actually kind of the worst. Even worse than Lionel, I would say. That's how bad I would put it.
Okay, well, I'm not fond of him and his bugs.
Oh, thank goodness, because I've already taken down 3 of the robots. You see this magical girl, you all know, figured out it's Juniper.
Yeah.
You see Juniper in magical girl form as she's just perched on top of one of the robots, digging her staff in and, like, tearing it apart.
Irene continues to do her upset face.
Well, I guess we will have the conversation elsewhere. But I think Midas being back is also somehow your fault, Mateo. And you need to explain that at some point. Why is he back?
I am in charge of this moment. I am here to seek my vengeance, and I am here because...
Yeah, the big guys are talking here, Midas, please.
Well, get them! You can see one of the robots is just looking at the others. And we're going to do a confrontation. I'm going to assume your goal is to get away for this confrontation. And his is going to be to getcha. So, what are you going to do?
Can I use my really vague, just white light?
So to use your angel magic, it is a wild magic table. You roll a 1d20, and then you roll a flat 2d6 to see how good it is.
Okay, I want to use wild magic, please. Da-da-da-da-da-da, 2.
Okay, and then roll your 2d6 to see how good it does.
Okay, 2d6 is a 5.
Okay, how do you try to use a Jedi mind trick? How do you snap your fingers and a Jedi mind trick backfires?
I snap my fingers and say, hey, you don't want to be here on this boat. You want to go home.
I do want to go home. Oh no! Jam jumps out of the boat. Jam actually is going to jump into the safety of one of the robot's arms.
Jam, no! Jam, no!
Which is going to go to start taking him away.
Ah!
I do like the beetle, so he's in like the pincer grasp of a beetle.
No!
And Midas's clock is filled by 1. All right, what's your next step? You got Jam being taken away. Each of your clocks are 4, by the way.
It thinks so much worse.
I would like to retrieve Jam somehow.
That would be nice if we could get Jam back.
So you can, how are you going to try to retrieve Jam?
I don't know. I just want to.
You gotta do.
I want something that can scoop them up.
A swoop?
I can't just give you the answer. Tell me what one of your mana's gonna do.
I can use my elemental blast or necromon fusion. What did we decide Marcia could do?
Marcia.
Or not Marcia, of the other one.
Maleo? That's Malaya and Pokio.
Because Pokio does like barreling in. That's like Sonic vibes.
Yeah.
They're fast. So I'm thinking fast is good. So we could do that combination and go fast and scoop.
Fast with arms?
Fast with arms.
Fast with arms. Arms and fast.
Okay, so what we're gonna...
I'm really tired. I'm so sorry.
What we're gonna do with this is whenever you do a fusion, we're gonna have you spend 1 AP.
Okay.
And all 3 of you are gonna roll. So it's rolling with advantage. So you'll roll 1d6, Hallie will, and Ari will.
Okay.
Okay.
1d6. 1d6.
1d6.
A 4.
It's a 3.
A 6.
Woohoo!
All right, a full success. So describe calling him the fuse and picking up Jam and all that.
Malaya,
Ah!
Pokio, retrieve the child.
Alarm!
And she points. She points frantically, not confidently.
Malaya is just ready to go.
Yeah. So they're merging, right?
Yeah,
Into-
yeah. You fuse together and you jump up and you grab it.
Yeah, it's very heroic. And Jam feels safer in Malaya's arms than in this random beetle.
I want to go. Jam's had a day. Jam just falls asleep in your giant, gentle arms.
I was gonna say whispering sweet nothings in the like combo.
All right, what are you gonna do now? You see more insects crawling up the boat, the barge, whatever.
Okay.
Are they all like being controlled by Midas, or are they just like bugs that can be?
Roll me understand.
I rolled a 10.
A 10. Okay. Yeah, these bugs, they seem to be moving with intelligence and intent. And I'll say as you're taking them, I'll just tell you what it is, since you rolled well. Mateo rolls his eyes. Damn it, Flick. And grabs a broom and starts brushing away the bugs.
Why do I get the energy that Mateo has slept with all of these people? Like, Mateo's definitely slept with Flick. Also, probably Midas.
I don't know about that one because they killed Midas. Like, that's...
You realize, and I might change this name, there is, instead of insectoid, there is a type of dead called a team sectoid.
But that has an eye in it.
I know. I'm gonna...
Instead of an insect, it's an outsect.
Hey.
That was pretty good.
Anyways, there is a type of dead where basically if you die not working as a team, you come back as just a hive mind mass of insects. So yeah, this is probably someone who's dead, and it probably is Flick.
How are the kids doing? Like Ariel and Yunuen?
They're not being very helpful, mostly because Yunuen wants to be really helpful.
Okay.
And she's trying to, like, shapeshift to attack them. And Ariel's, like, grabbing each animal, and then Yunuen will shapeshift into another one, and Ariel will grab that.
Oh, that's cute.
Reflexively blocking off attacks with, we'll say, like, a little Captain America style, a symbol appears. Like a music symbol, just batting away various things. So like a symbol, you can see a drumstick at another point. They don't seem to be thinking about what they're doing, but that is happening. So they're not doing great. They're not like captured or anything.
Okay.
But like if this battle goes bad for you, they're fucked.
Yeah. So is the ability of Akitsune just to shapeshift into other things? Because I don't know if Quique can suggest that Yunuen transforms into either like a bird or an anteater or something and go to the center of the ship and transforms into that.
Suggest it.
Mm-hmm.
You can.
Yeah.
We'll see how it works out, but suggest it.
Okay. Chaparra. Hey, look. These little bichitos, you know, they're just bugs, they're just bichos. They can be scared by big things that eat bugs. You know, you've seen in your school books, things that eat them, like giant birds or those anteaters. Why don't you try that? I think you can actually help. And he's just gonna look at Ariel and say, I'll back you up on protecting her.
Nada? Quique? Nada? What? No, absolutely. Big anteater.
A big anteater.
Big anteater. Yunuen breaks out of Ariel's hands and starts fucking hoovering up the bugs.
Meet your doom, Flick.
The bugs are a person too?
Are what?
Well, if he doesn't stop being a nuisance, we're gonna counteract accordingly. If he wants to say something, he can try and say it like a civilized person bug.
We can't talk to him if he's dead again.
Well,
should have thought of that.
At least, you know, you can become the shape of a person and speak to us that way.
Anything you'll do, Quique.
Or,
anything at all to avoid a straightforward... Anything to avoid a straightforward conversation, huh? Also, I want to be clear, this is Ariel talking to you.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not about... I mean, well, yes, we need to have a talk. I will apologize more with you about everything. I can tell you everything I need. You know, the guy over there is Mateo. I lived with him for a while. That's who we raised Sochi with. But like, you know, I think right now the thing is here to just get these bugs out of the ship, you know? But I can tell you things now. I'm sorry I didn't before. I was afraid.
She was raised by... Actually, that explains a lot.
Perhaps, yeah. You know, I made mistakes and I just was afraid of the mistakes I made, so I didn't share them with people because of that. You know, when you're as old as I am, you get to have a lot of secrets.
You get interrupted partway through as your head gets literally hit and turned around as Ariel just, like, whacks you on the head.
You know, and he's gonna, like, turn it back. I deserve that.
Just keeps going.
Quique.
I deserve that.
Quique. Ariel picks up a symbol that has a little squish thing on it. You had some flick on you. But good to know for future reference. And they walk off trying to manage Yunuen.
Aww.
Okay.
All right. What's your next plan? The boat is swarming. Flick is being eaten by like a 10-year-old.
So Midas is also there with the many bugs.
He seems to be talking through the robots. You don't see a man there.
I gotcha. Okay. So my old standby is just calling my van. I don't know if I want to do that, even though it's always the right choice. But I do also have, I have Big Jekyll's number, and I can call him once per session. So I'm thinking about calling Big Jekyll, being like, hey, You got any bug spray?
Oh, yeah, Miss Malarkey. How can I help
Yeah,
you?
hi Jake. You know how sometimes when you die you become a big swarm of bugs?
You didn't die, did you?
Let's say like a dead big swarm of bugs is like and like what would you do?
Well, I would ask the fine individual. Well, I guess why they felt like. Well, first off, I'd make sure it's actually one of the dead, but then I suppose I would engage in the in the methods of communication, conflict resolution. If
Can he say things faster?
if it's swarming on me.
Okay, but like let's say you need to let's say you tried to be like, hey Flick, stop attacking us, and that didn't work. Like, what would you do then?
Well, I suppose I would need to know why this individual named Flick is attacking me.
Hey Flick, what's up? I'm putting the phone down, like I'm coming up to speak to Jake, and then putting the phone down and screaming at Flick.
The
Like,
ants are
that's-
just screaming, "Flee the child! Flee the child!"
See, this is what I mean. He doesn't go and become an actual person you can talk to. Like.
Yeah, honestly, this is so frustrating. I'm with you. What, Jake?
Okay, so that was a bit hard to make out, but it seems like they are being aggrieved by some sort of child.
That's our best solution right now, yes.
Okay. So I think the best thing to do would be to remove yourself from the situation. Now, are you able to do that?
Okay, let's say you're on a boat and you can't do that, Jake. Let's say that we've exhausted many options. All the options you're giving us are exhausted. Do you have like a secret one I'm just not thinking of?
You have to completely cover them in water.
Oh my god. Oh. Okay, that I can do. I can do that.
Please, Sparky, you are not having a child murder a bug man, are you?
Not anymore. Hey, you win. We got a different plan. Don't worry about it. And then I hang up. Wait, before I hang up, I say thanks, Jake, and then I hang up.
Divide and conquer. I still don't see the problem with this.
No, I think it was a really good stopgap measure. But apparently we just gotta drown him.
As soon as that happens, it starts ringing in your pocket again.
Technically, they can also drown in the gastric juices.
You've got a point.
A child.
You've got a point. Does anybody have a bucket instead of sinking the boat? Maybe we just take water and put it on the boat, but like in thin amounts, so not enough to like sink the boat, just enough to swarm the bugs around a little bit.
Sparky, I'm going to have you roll, I'm going to say take action.
Okay.
Because there are so many baubles on this boat, I want to see if you can quickly grab one that will successfully take water. And you roll with advantage.
Okay, excellent. I am ignoring the phone that is still ringing in my pocket. With my +1, I got a 12. So, not a natural, it was a dirty Maleta.
All right, what do you find on the boat to water these up?
A hose. I think it's so much funnier than a bucket that you use to like scoop if there's just like a fucking hose on this boat that is somehow hooked up to the water source underneath it. And then I want to hose those suckers down.
You are hosing an Ant-Man down.
Yeah, I'm hosing the Ant-Man,
With cosmic water.
Yeah, with cosmic water. While my phone rings in my pocket and I ignore it. It's just another Tuesday. What do you mean?
Well, the ants are gone. The bugs are gone.
I did it.
Goodbye, Flick.
I don't want to kill him. Like, I want him to stick around. I just want him to be wet and unhappy and not attacking us anymore.
Okay. I will say you spray them and they stay on the ground then.
And then I want to ask him questions. And anytime they try to fight back, I squirt it like you do with a puppy, with like a spray water bottle with a
Okay,
drop.
so we're gonna handle that once the confrontation is done because you've handled the ants.
Okay.
But the robots are still swarming around. In between various different dessert puns that I haven't written down because I'm not clever enough. Because Juniper, codenamed Butterscotch, is just throwing out one of those puns with every spell she casts. She is a very on-brand magical girl. you see various machines getting destroyed. And when they get destroyed, every time the golden machine puffs in a little explosion, and you see thin light blue ribbons of light fade down into the lake. But there's still a handful of them going at you.
Okay, I already said it was a hose, but what if it was a vacuum? Like in addition to a hose, and then I either sucked up the ants and sprayed them at the robots, or I just sucked up the robots.
Give me 1 AP. I will let you say you bring a vacuum as well. Whose arms do you throw it into?
Quique, catch! I've had this in my pocket the whole time and forgot about it.
I will attempt to catch.
Okay. Roll me take a swing.
I roll a 10.
Okay. So how do you injure these robots with your vacuum?
Are they like connected to something?
No, they're just flying little robots. But I will say, you do notice that every time they explode, the blue strings of light come down. And you know what? I'm going to let you, if it's all right, piece together. Those are the lines of a Necromon that hasn't taken full form.
Oh, interesting.
Basically, each of them has some Necromon inside of them powering them.
Oh, so I can like vacuum away the Necromon inside them? Sure, I'll do that.
Oh, I have waited many long centuries to take you down, Aurelio. And now at last... Wait, no, don't take that. No. This isn't the last you'll see of...
And the last robot falls into the lake.
You know, to be honest, I had almost forgotten about Midas.
I wish that was one of the things I forgot.
I mean, I didn't forget about the aftermath of, but I had forgotten about what led to that until you said the name.
Mateos just could have put his hand on your shoulder and nod sagely, like knowingly, like,
Quique is gonna give him a look like, oh, okay, we'll figure that out later. But now, and that's okay, that's fine. You can stop your ant eating, or you can remain an anteater if you want. I mean, that's fine too, kid. You can leave your dreams. Just
a small one, please. And Yunoan will swoop into a tiny anteater that Ariel can hold.
Oh, so
and you can just see like the tongue lick the end of the anteater lips. And you can actually hear from inside, "Let me out! Let me out! I don't like being in here!"
Should have thought of that before all that just happened.
Yeah, you interrupted a very important conversation we were having. So why did you even come at this exact moment? Were you waiting for both of us to be in the same place?
Both. No, of course not. I'm on your guys' side, really.
Yeah, it's not gonna fly.
Mateo's gonna go for a high five when you say that's not gonna fly.
Yeah, you got it. And he's gonna high five you.
No, one thing I remember is that this fellow has been pursuing me for quite some time. Not at all. Not at. And Echo's rattlesnake tail rattles, and you just hear Tiny, "I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get Mateo. I'm gonna get him from Midas. And then maybe he'll forgive me. I'm gonna get him."
Sure you will.
Alright, well, I was gonna get you, like, a cake. That's what I meant. Uh-huh.
I want to whisper into Kike's ear, "Quique, what? This is the most pathetic person I've ever spoken to. What did you do to him?"
Sparky, as I mentioned, I don't really remember most of what happened there.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it probably wasn't that important.
Anyway, you guys have bigger things to worry about.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, yeah. I could only find you because you have the stench of the seven.
Okay, that sounds like something you made up.
Yeah.
I didn't make it up. I didn't.
Then you need to be more specific.
Will you spit me out if I'm more specific?
You have been in there a while. Yeah, all right.
Okay, so what if I can't be more specific, but I can give you the means by which you can get the information you need?
Well, if you have the means by which we can get the information we need, why can't you be more specific?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Midas never told me.
Oh, God, you know what? I buy that.
What? No, I'm his most trusted confidant. He took me in right after I was mysteriously jumped by some strange man in the middle of the night and killed.
That's a bummer.
I don't know why. Nobody had any reason to be angry at me.
Really?
Nobody thought I wronged them or anything.
Usually when people are murdered, they have some idea about why they were murdered.
I didn't do anything, though. Yeah.
All right. Sparky's genuinely keeping Investigate Flick's murder in her notes, even though we know what Flick's murder was.
We know 100% that Midas murdered him out of rage because Quique and Mateo convinced Midas that Flick stole his recipe.
That Flick did something he never did.
That's right. I forgot about that.
This poor man.
This poor man, I love him so much.
Anyways, Midas didn't really tell me much about it, but so you know how he likes making things gold?
Mm-hmm.
He says that there's something out there that can do it better.
Like, then he can?
No, don't say, I didn't say that. Midas, if you're there, I didn't say that anything. You know, you're the best. Don't say that.
I'm following up on the leads that you're giving me, Flick.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, the legendary Necromon, correct?
I don't know what you're talking about. He just said it was green and it was strong and that he has this like weird blank ripped up page that's gonna have all the answers.
I look over at Booker.
Record? Booker points to himself.
Well, we don't have any of that here.
You haven't been around any like green magic or anything?
No.
No. I've been around blue magic, but not green magic.
What shade of green? Like any shade or specific shade?
What does this have to do with Sochi? Ariel says.
Oh!
You don't know. Of course you don't know. Of course you don't know. Oh god, I need to get back. I need to get back to society and culture and where people know things. And Sparky, that's when you're gonna remember. Back at the party, you were covered in green mist that went around your lips when you were forced to sing.
I would like to jump to a conclusion.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Sochi when she was small and sad, and so clearly this is an imposter that has targeted us for reasons unknown.
So you're saying...
Because Irene still is thinking poor little Sochi.
Because Irene had a much different experience than the rest of us did.
You know, the tech team, all of your theories I think are valid. There's no wrong theory.
There's no wrong conclusion except the wrong one.
But obviously, if it's one that assumes that family member is something other than rotten and evil to the core, well, that can't be right.
She just wanted someone to listen to her.
I will just say she was always... This was not a sudden occurrence. She always... I mean, Mateo can probably back me up here. She was
interesting, yes.
She always was difficult.
Oh, yes, that is also true, yes.
Difficult is different than bad.
I was trying to be polite, because I'm embarrassed at how bad she turned out. I think that this is the result of, and I'll admit it, bad parenting and not she being impersonated by an evil spirit.
Wow, this seems like a lot for you guys to work through. If you just spit me out, I'll get on my way and I'll let you have this
Shut up, Flick.
You have nothing to do with this conversation, so I think you're fine where you are.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hey, a thought that did not just occur to me because I think through all of my actions far ahead of making them. If I did potentially questionably sell my soul, am I going to end up like him? And she gestures to confused elderly Mateo.
I don't know.
Well, Irene, we don't know. We don't really know what selling a soul constitutes. You also still haven't told us the context.
Well, we kind of got interrupted by these army of flying.
Okay, we did get interrupted by that. No, you're right.
I wouldn't worry about it too much, kid, Mateo says, poking your head. You know, I've been through it before, so I can tell you how to handle it. After all, I remember every... Now, where did I leave that? And he walks off in search of something.
Irene looks nauseous, but not this time at the seasickness. It wasn't that I thought I was selling my soul, it just sort of happened. But then I was kind of thinking afterwards that perhaps there were things that were unsaid, and I got vaguely, mildly concerned about the security of my soul.
Has anything happened to you since then?
No, we made a deal.
What was your part of the deal?
Well, she would imitate me and go in my place to chuck beavers
A fine establishment.
with my father, and I would allow her to do that by lending her my face, which sounds more unwise out loud.
So the implication here is that she can use your face whenever she wants.
Correct.
That's not good.
If
Yes.
you've had a busy couple of weeks, couple of months, however long it's been, we don't need to get into what you've been up to, and we're gonna get straight to where you are. You are in a murder hotel, or at least the closest equivalent thereof. It is a building somewhere in the here. We'll actually say it's up in the mountains. It's up in the mountains between the valley and Puerto Ballenas. Long mountain ridge where the Rockies would be in this world, the real world. And up in these snowy mountains, there is a Necromon branded hotel that was long ago deemed not worth the money. And as a result, it is one of the few Scuba Corps properties that even the Bureau of Intermortal Enforcement hasn't really cared to take over since they took over Scuba Corps. And you are here because you heard the former owner of Scuba Corps, Osset Scuba, call for the aid of the greatest Necromon hunters in the worlds. And Elizabeth Thorne was the best that you had. So we'll say you just walk into the empty lobby of this hotel. Think of the Overlook, but there's the equivalent of like a giant Pikachu float when you come in. It's illuminated by the light of the stained glass window behind it, except there's no light up here. It's always cloudy and dark and snowing, so you just see flashes of shadows flying across this Necromon's face.
Beautiful. Love it.
Yeah, and you are here, and I'm gonna say that it is empty, and that light from the window is the only light in the space.
All right. Well, then I'm going to stride forward purposefully, as Elizabeth is wont to do, and just talk loudly to no one in particular. Aha! It's cold and tacky. Delightful. Is anybody here?
You are only greeted by the sounds of your own echoing voice.
Oh, keen. And it's dark, you say?
Yeah.
Well, then I have access to Elizabeth's boundless wellsprings of magical potential. So I'm going to just sort of light the place up. One assumes I must have a light-based Necromon card on my person whose magic I can siphon for my own purposes, yes?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Then yes, I'm just going to set my hands aglow and then usher a few globes of light into the dingiest corners of this abandoned hotel.
Sickly green light shoots out of your hands. I like to imagine these, with the way you describe them, almost as like pulsating orbs, like bubbles underwater. It feels gross, it looks gross, but it illuminates the space perfectly. And as you look around at your lights that you've illuminated, you see, sitting at the reception desk in front of you, the shadow of what looks like a corpse.
Ooh, intriguing. It just keeps getting better and better. If anybody is here, awaiting the most renowned Necromon hunter there ever has been, ever shall be, I'm going to investigate your little corpse. Anyone? No? Well, then I shall go investigate this little corpse.
How are you going to investigate the corpse? Describe how you're investigating this corpse.
I'm investigating it the only way one can investigate a corpse. I'm going to poke it. I'm going to extend one bony finger and poke it right in what looks like a soft part to see what happens.
You poke it, we'll say a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
And the first couple of times you hear just a, 5 more minutes, Abby. Oh! The actually not corpse, it turns out, flies back and falls off the chair with a start as it wakes up, and then stumbling up, illuminated like a rim shadow in the green light, including like a little halo of green around his now completely brown hair, is a tired, malnourished Oset Scuba. This is my property. I am a sovereign citizen of here, and I shall not be no solicit. And he's just gonna start weeping. You know what? He's just gonna start weeping.
Oh, boy, you're getting emotions and fluids all over the place. Wait, I'm going to come along and I'm going to pat you gently upon the back in a comforting way. Be prepared. Pat, pat.
Roll me plus heart.
That's going to be a 6.
If you realize now just how frail the bodies you've been possessing are, because this frail, literal skeleton is somehow so much stronger than you're used to, that you slam Oset Scuba face first into the desk, at which point he falls back down to the ground. I deserve that. Actually, no, I don't. I will have you know, I am Oset Scuba, the greatest Necromon trainer, and I shall challenge you to, just give me 1 second. He starts patting the little octagon card holder on his wrist, which you can see is like all sticky and covered in like Cheeto dust and regular dust. I just have to get the cards out of here. Just give me 1 second, and we shall duel for on honor.
No thanks on the duel. I don't want you to embarrass yourself. Elizabeth Thorne, at your, I would say service, but probably more accurate to say mutually overlapping goal presence.
Elizabeth.
Yes, you've obviously heard of Elizabeth Thorne.
If you checked Oset Scuba's BooTube history, you would know that he has been watching nonstop every kind of schlocky Necromon hunter video he can, both educational and non-educational. Like, someone's come to help me?
Someone has come, yes, and there will be mutual benefit, to be certain. Let's make it clear. You are incidental in this.
Yeah, come here. I have something to. He stands up and stumbles, and you notice that this guy hasn't eaten, slept, or it seems like really walked in a while now. Follow. I have something to show you.
I shall follow at a distance.
Okay, now you've gone from murder hotel to murder basement.
Ooh.
This is like the Saw basement, but it's filled with all sorts of tech. We're gonna say this is very high-tech sci-fi stuff, but a lot of it is duct taped together, and I do literally mean duct tape. It's a lot of like homemade, handmade things. There's a bunch of steam. You definitely, like, you slip by and we can see the shadow cast off Elizabeth Thorne just reach up and adjust some of the shadows of the knobs. And in the center, you see 2 cards. One is of a pack of 4 eels, signed by a man named Lucas Bang. And on the flip side, you see a very, very peculiar necro card. One that looks to be brand new.
and that glows with a green light that you can feel calling to you. So, I made something, patent pending, but I made it, and, it, is shit. It does not work. I made a brand new necro card to solve the whole complication of ownership thing, and as you can see, it, he points to this card with the 4 eels. Hasn't gotten Sabby out. I just want Sabby.
Oh, you're doing the emotions again. I am really going to beg you to leave those in your eyeballs.
Okay, He starts pushing his tears back up into his eyes. Of course, you're the expert here. I'm just a I'm a man living in a hotel, so I will follow your lead.
Excellent! Perfect! Yes, Elizabeth Thorne is a very good lead to follow. Oh, friend, accomplice, no! Let me come up with a better term, more appropriate. Minion of mine. I think that is a good role for you at present. We're going to do some beautiful things together, aren't we?
I like this one.
She's all right.
He approves of me, Quique.
You're all right.
Yeah, I'll take it. I worked my way up to Aura. I'll take it.
It is weird that you did end up that you're hanging out with an angel, though.
Oh, I'm not usually like this.
Also, want to be clear, it's a partnership. It's a very close connection, but it's not romantic or anything like that. So you two can go for it if you want.
Listen,
What?
it's not that it's not that I haven't had my other how would an old person say? Like my other carousing with other folks, but so that's not it. It's just with her. No. You're not my type, Sparky. I'm you would know if you were. Anyways,
I've never been so relieved and insulted at the same time.
I will say, Hallie, Mateo knows himself well, so he knows that he's not appealing right now. But if he was in his silver fox form, he definitely would have hit on you by now. But like not in an uncomfortable way, just like a hey, if you want.
Just a matter of fact, I'm here. I'm a consenting adult. I respect the hell out of it. We're gonna be BFFs.
Do you get it? Because Flick's a bug in a bug's life.
Because Flick's a bug in a bug's life. You get it? I got it.
Do you get it?
I got it.
Do you get it?
It's a really good reference to a bug's life, which has bugs in it, like Flick. Okay, well, first of all, Irene, we need to think of a secret handshake or something so that we can tell when it's you versus if, because now that is just a thing that could happen.
I don't like handshakes.
Okay, passcode?
Fine.